Hi and welcome. Welcome to this 45-minute flow that focuses on your hips. So we're going to start on the back. Find a comfortable position on your back, and we don't need any props, so just yourselves and the mat. Enjoy the practice. Come and lie down on your back, arms relaxed alongside the body, palms facing up, and let the eyes drop close. Just take a moment, take a nice and long inhalation. Open the mouth and exhale. One more breath like this, inhaling. And out of the mouth, let it go. Now closing the mouth. Breathe in and out of the nostrils, a couple of long, deep breaths. Become aware of your body in this moment, in this space. And let the eyes open. And we'll do a few rounds of bridge variations to start the class today. So bring your feet together. Your knees are bent. And keeping your heels together, now turn your toes out. So your feet are like Charlie Chaplin feet. Obviously, your knees are also going to separate. And that's great. That's how we want them. Arms down alongside the body. Take a breath in. Exhale, push through the feet, squeeze your heels together, lift your pelvis into this variation of bridge pose. I want you to try and keep your shoulders and upper back on the ground so that it's not a back bend, but it's mostly just strengthening the back body. And then from here, lower on the inhale all the way down. Take a breath in. Exhale, push through the feet, squeeze the heels, lift into your bridge. Again, not a back bend, keeping the upper back on the ground. And then all the way down. We'll do it 3 more times like this. Inhale on the floor. Exhale, squeeze the heels together, lift, squeeze the glutes, feel the back body work. And then nice and slowly down on the floor. Twice more, inhale. Exhale, heels press together, glutes active, the pubic bone lifts to the sky, and all the way down. Final one, inhale. Exhale, squeeze the heels, lift up. And this time, stay lifted. And we're going to do the next 5 repetitions where we lower halfway down and then pulse back up. So take a breath in, drop halfway down with your pelvis. So you're not touching the floor. And then squeeze to lift back up. And again, for 4, halfway down, squeeze to lift. For 3, halfway down, squeeze to lift. For 2, squeeze and lift. And for 1, squeeze and lift. Now keep lifting. With your knees, I want you to imagine that you're squeezing a ball between them. So bring them towards each other. And then let them go out wide again. Again, imagine that you have a ball between your knees and you want to squeeze it. And then let that go and open your knees again. 3 more times, squeezing that imaginary ball as you continue to lift through your pelvis. And then open out. Last 2, squeeze into the midline. And then open wide. One last one, squeeze. Open and slowly all the way down. Roll over onto one side and lift yourself up. Okay, as you lift up, take a comfortable seated position. Maybe legs crossed, maybe something else. And then making sure your knees are not uncomfortable. They should feel completely fine. There should be no pain in your knees. So if you sit cross-legged and that doesn't work, change it. Breathe in, lift the arms out and up, stretch up, look up. Breathe out the hands in prayer. Interlace the fingers round the spine, chin to chest, looking at the belly. Press the palms forwards and away. A big breath into your upper back. A long exhalation. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release the arms, interlace them behind your back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up your chest and look straight in front of you. Breathing here, feel the space in your chest and collarbones. One more inhale. Exhale, release, roll the shoulders and free them up. Good. Let's shift forwards onto our hands and knees now. As you come forwards on hands and knees, start by setting your foundations. Your hands under the shoulders, your knees under the hips. And then, since we're mostly focusing on the hips today, start with some circles here. You can circle big, you can go smaller circles, you can do a little bit of both. But the intention is create a little bit more space, comfort and fluidity in the lower back and in the area around the pelvis. Now switch direction. As you do this, as you continue to circle, spread your fingers and ground through your knuckles. Ground through the finger pads so that we also start to warm up our wrists. Take the last 2 circles now. And once you've finished your last one, settle back to center. Once you're back to center, open the knees out nice and wide, your feet together, and sit back into a child's pose. Releasing the forehead down on the ground or maybe on a block. Notice how it feels to settle into child's pose. And remember that we're all different, so if a pose doesn't feel right for you, please don't force your body into it. Maybe you can find an alternative. Maybe it feels better for you to actually have your knees together and not apart. Maybe you don't push your hips all the way down to your heels, but you allow your hips to stay higher, and that's fine too. Stay one last inhalation. One last exhalation. And then reset all the way back into your tabletop position. Okay, we'll do a little bit more glute activation before we start to flow. So from tabletop here, push the ground away with your hands. Lift your right foot as if you wanted to press your right foot on the ceiling. So your leg is at a 90-degree angle. Now, literally imagine that you want to support a block with your foot. So your foot is, the sole of your foot is flat. Well, not flat, but it's in its natural shape. And then from here, we're going to try and keep our pelvis really stable. Push with the hands. Gently draw in through the front of your abdomen. So there is a little bit of core activation. And then press up into the ceiling with the sole of the foot. It's not going to be a massive movement, just a little bit of movement to strengthen the glutes and the hamstrings. And then pulse back down. And we'll do it again for 7. Pressing up and down. For 6. Down. Again, remember the movement is not massive. We are trying to stay really stable. 5. 4. You want to feel it in the right side, glutes and hamstrings. 3. Keep pushing with the hands. 2. Now with your next one, stay lifted. And then do tiny, tiny pulses for 8. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your right knee down. Hopefully you felt it in the right places. Second side, push with your hands. Lift your left leg into that reverse kind of tabletop position. And then hug your front belly in a little bit. Keep the push of the shoulders. Imagine you have a block on the sole of your left foot. Lift that block towards the ceiling, keeping the pelvis in line. Lowering, lifting for 7, and lowering. 6. Smaller is better here. 5. 4. Working with precision rather than working with a big movement. 3. 2. Next one, stay lifted. And tiny pulses for 8. 7, 6, 4, 5, 3, 2, and 1. I got my numbers mixed up completely. Release your knee to the ground. Okay, back into tabletop. Tuck the toes. Inhale, arch the spine, look up. Exhale and lift, downward facing dog. Okay, as you're right here in your first downward dog, explore it. So maybe you enjoy movement. Maybe you actually enjoy exploring it in stillness. You decide. Wherever you are, just make sure that your hands are not just resting on the floor, but they are pushing the floor away. Your head and neck relax. Your hips lift nice and high. Just one last inhale. And one last exhale. And then settle into stillness if you were still moving in your down dog. Take a full breath in. Push with the hands, feel the shoulders active, a full breath out. On your next inhale, come forwards into a plank position. Lower the knees to the ground. Let's all do it with the knees down first. Stay. Keep pushing with your hands. Feel like your chest is lifting and not sinking. Also, you're hugging in through the front of your abdomen. And imagine that you're squeezing a block between your inner thighs. So the whole body is still active. We're going to lower halfway. Elbows in line with the sides ribs. And then push back up, straighten the elbows. Downward facing dog. Take a full inhale for down dog. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards. Make your way to the front of the mat, stepping or jumping the feet forwards. Bring the hands to the shins. Come up halfway, lengthening through the spine, projecting the chest forwards, the sit bones back. And exhale and fold. Inhale, lift to standing, reach the arms out and up, look up. Exhale, mountain pose. Release the arms, looking straight in front of you, stand nice and tall. A full inhale for mountain pose. A complete exhale. Okay, as we move through our sun salutations now, we're going to include squats. So depending on how your knees feel about squats, you're going to choose how low or how high you're staying. Turn the toes slightly out. The heels are slightly in. Breathe in, circle the arms out and up, reach up, stretch up. Breathe out, come down into your squat. And maybe it's here, maybe it's lower, you choose. Take a breath in. Exhale and fold, fingertips down, feet parallel and fold. Lift halfway, project your chest forwards, your sit bones back. Hands to the mat, step your right foot back, right knee down. Lift the arms, low lunge, inhale. Hands to the floor, step into plank, exhale. Hold your plank. Lower the knees or not if you're feeling super strong. Halfway down, elbows in. Straighten the elbows. Downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot between the hands. Exhale, drop your left knee down. Arms lift overhead, breathing in. Hands to the floor, step forwards and fold, breathing out. Halfway lift, inhale, elongate the sides of the body. Fold forwards and down, exhale. Inhale, circle the arms from the bottom to the top, reaching for the ceiling. Exhale the hands into prayer. Release the arms, turn the toes out. Breathe in, circle the arms, reach up, stretch up. Breathe out into your squat. And it doesn't need to always be the same. I quite like actually changing. Sometimes I stay higher, sometimes I go lower. Fold, exhale. Feet parallel, head down. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Hands to the mat, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back, not your right. Left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, step into your plank. Hold plank pose, inhale. Knees down or not, your choice, but lower with control. Bend the elbows, your spine stays neutral. Push back up, your spine is staying neutral the whole time. Downward facing dog, exhale. Step your left foot forwards between the hands. The right knee comes down. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the lower belly. Exhale, hands down, frame the foot. Step forwards and fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Forwards and down, exhale. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands into prayer. Okay, let's do it one more time, right and left. Toes out, heels in. Inhale, circle. Maybe playing with a different height of your squat. Inhale, stay, lift the chest. Exhale, fold, relax the head and feet parallel. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot back. Right knee comes down, lift the arms. Inhale. Hands to the floor, step into your plank. Hold your plank, inhale. Knees down or not, halfway down. Straight elbows, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right foot between the hands. Left knee down. Breathe in, lift overhead. Breathe out, step forwards and fold. Breathe in, lift and lengthen. Breathe out and fold all of the way. Inhale to come up to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Straight on the second side, toes out. Inhale, circle the arms, reach up, look up. Exhale into your squat. Breathing, lifting spine. Exhale and fold Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Hands to the mat, step your left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, lift the arms. Hands to the mat, step into your plank. Hold plank, inhale. Knees down or not, bend the elbows, keep your chest forwards. Don't collapse. Straighten the elbows. Down dog, exhale. Left foot between the hands. Right knee to the floor. Inhale, lift arms. Exhale, step forwards and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Forwards and down, exhale. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, mountain pose. Release the arms, toes out, heels in. We do one more set of sun salutations with high lunges now. Breathe in, lift the arms. Breathe out into your squat. Inhale, stay. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and elongate the spine. Hands down as you step your right foot back. Keep the back knee lifted. Push through the feet. Inhale, lift into your lunge. Exhale, step into your plank. Hold plank, inhale. Lower halfway down. Even less than halfway would be great, as long as you can control the movement. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, preparing for a high lunge. Push and lift, grounding through the right big toe. Hands to the mat, step forwards and fold, Uttanasana. Lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold, release down. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, mountain pose. Last time, last side, toes out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale into your squat. Changing movements, doing the same pose in different ways, it's just so good for your body and for your brain. Fold forwards and down. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, step your left foot back. Push through the feet, inhale to come up. Exhale into plank. Hold plank, inhale. Lower with control. It doesn't matter even if it's a quarter of the way down. Straighten the elbows. As long as you can control it, that's what matters. Downward facing dog. Left foot forwards between the hands. Back knee stays lifted. Inhale, push and lift. Exhale, hands down. Step forwards and fold. Lift, inhale, halfway up. Shoulders at the height of the pelvis. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Release the arms. Mountain pose, a full inhale. A complete exhale. Now from here, step your right foot back into a high lunge again. And then from your high lunge here, take the time to adjust. Maybe the hands on the hips for a moment, really bending nice and generously through the front knee, grounding down through the front foot, all of the toes and the heel. And then reach the arms up, breathing in. And swing the arms back down with the palms facing forwards. Now squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. So you should feel like it's almost as if you were pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades and trying to keep it there. Now you're going to try and really keep it there. Hug the belly in, hug the front ribs in. Now your legs are going to stay exactly as they are. Take a breath in, hinge forwards just a little bit so your torso is in a continuous line with your back leg. Lift back up, inhale. Hinge forwards, exhale. Keep squeezing the imaginary pencil between your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift. Pinky fingers keep hugging towards each other. And forwards. Twice more. Inhale, lift into your lunge. Exhale, hinge forwards, diagonal lunge. Once more. Inhale. This time, as we come forward, stay. Keep hugging the belly, reach the arms overhead, and imagine that you have a ball between your hands and you want to stretch it forwards and away from your shoulders. It should start to burn a little bit in your left glutes and left leg, and that's good. One more inhale. Exhale, come back up, hands in prayer. Now look forwards and step forwards, mountain pose. Release the arms. Take a full breath in, a full breath out. Same thing, second side. Send your left foot back. Hands to hips for a moment. Feel the grounding of your base. Your base are your feet really here. So pressing down, especially that front foot. Okay, generous bend through the front knee. Reach the arms up, inhale. Swing the arms down, palms face forwards. Pinch your shoulder blades together. Hug belly in, inhale. Hinge forwards, exhale. Inhale to lift. Keep collarbones spreading, shoulder blades squeezing. Hinging forwards for 4. Inhale up for 3. Forwards for 3. 2, check in, shoulder blades are still squeezing. Hinge for 2. Inhale up for 1. Hinge for 1. Keep hugging the belly. Reach the arms forwards and up. Diagonal lunge, hold it. Right leg is doing most of the work here. We want it that way. Keep reaching your hands away from the shoulders. One more breath. And then lift yourself up. Hands to the heart. Look forwards and step forwards. Release the arms. Take a breath in. A full breath out. Okay, good. Now we'll put this work into our sequence that we did earlier with the sun salutations, and we'll add one standing balance. So toes out, heels in. Breathe in, lift the arms, stretch up, look up. Breathe out, come down into your squat, wherever that is. Inhale. Forwards and down, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, step your right foot back. Keep the back knee lifted. Push through the feet. Inhale, lift the upper body. And this time, swing your arms back and interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Move the hands a little bit away from the lower back. Good. And then hugging the belly in, inhale. Hinge forwards into a diagonal lunge like we did earlier. And then look at the floor in front of your mat. Find one point on the floor that you're looking at and shift forwards into a standing balance here for your warrior 3. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades And if it feels too much at any point, you come back into your high lunge instead. Just one more inhale if you can. Step forwards with your right foot, mountain pose, release the arms. Okay, beautiful. Take a breath in. A full breath out. Open the toes out, heels in, second side, inhale, lift. Exhale, squat. Inhale, stay. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Inhale, lift the arms. Arms come down, interlace behind you. Squeeze behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades, open chest. And as you hinge forwards, hug the belly, hug the ribs. One breath in. Start to look at that one point on the floor that is going to give you stability if you keep looking at in your balance, shifting forwards or staying into your high lunge. Decide what feels right for your body today. Wherever you are, check in with the breath. The breath always tells you the truth. If you can't breathe or your breathing is going really fast, maybe it's just a little bit too much. Take another breath. And then step forwards, mountain pose, release the arms. Bring one hand to your chest, one hand to the belly. Have your feet at least hip distance apart. Close the eyes. Steady the breathing. Feel those inhales become a little bit longer now. The exhales a little bit slower. Feel your heart beating probably a little bit more slowly now. Everything calming down. Take the last 2 cycles of breath. Inhaling for 1. Exhaling, release the arms, open the eyes. Okay, for this next standing balance, if you have a wall or maybe the couch or a chair to hold on to, if you want to, you could hold on to something. So we'll go into a standing pigeon pose. So bend the knees a little bit. For now, just a little bend, and then we can bend them more as we go. Shift the weight of the body onto your left foot and take your right ankle on top of the left thigh. And then squat a little lower. If you're holding on to something, maybe you hold on to that chair or whatever it is in front of you. If you don't need to hold on to anything, you can rest the hands on your knee and on your foot, one on each. And then maybe sinking a little lower through the hips, but keep lifting up through your chest. Holding it here, steady gaze if you're balancing. If you have the hands on the chair, that's not so important. But if you're balancing, it's really important where you look at. And you can actually, if you wanted to, might not want to, but if you wanted to challenge your balance more, you could see what happens as you close your eyes. The whole thing changes. So that's why your gaze is just so important. Take another breath as you are. And then stand up and release. Okay, same thing, second side. Bend the knees just a little bit. Shift body weight on your right foot, left ankle on top. And you know you could hold on to something. That can be a great variation. Or the hand on the foot, the other hand on the knee. Maybe sinking a little lower through the standing leg as you continue to lift up through your chest. Good. So now we're working a little bit more on the stretch of the hips. We did quite a bit of glute strengthening and activating. So now we're getting a little bit more into the release. Take one more inhale. And one more exhale. Okay, lift yourself up. And both feet on the ground. Give your legs a little shake out. And we're coming to the floor. So it might be safe for you to come down through a squat. If you can squat really low down and you have very good hip mobility, you can come down that way. And maybe without using your hands. Otherwise, you might need to come down in any other way that is safe for you. So you probably know. We're going to turn the toes out if you're coming down with me. Otherwise, come down to the mat in your own way. Breathe in, arms out and up. Hands in prayer. We squat really low for this one if you are doing it with me. And then we see if we can sit without using the hands. Come all the way down. Just be safe. So use your hands, do whatever you need. Okay. Once you're all the way down, again, to just move a little bit back so that we have space in front of us. And then we'll bend the right knee and bring the right foot across and over to the left side. I'll turn a little bit just so that you get a better view, but you don't need to turn. So I'll just turn a little bit this way. Now you see my right foot. I'm going to take it all the way over to the left as far as it can go. So I'm onto the front of the foot and not so much on the sole of the foot anymore. The bottom leg is staying straight. Okay. I have one knee on top of the other, and then I lift and lengthen through the spine. Okay. Double action in this pose. We're opening the outside of the right hip. And as we start to hinge forwards, even just a tiny bit, we stretch the left hamstrings, the back of the left leg. So breath in, hinge forwards a little bit, and it doesn't need to be a lot. Even just a tiny little bit of a hinge forwards is going to start to make you feel the back of the left leg lengthen more. And the reason why you don't need to necessarily go very far here is because you have the weight of that right leg that is already pressing on the bottom leg. For some of you, if you have more flexibility or you don't have a bump in your way, then maybe you can fold a little bit further forwards. Wherever you are, let the eyes rest on your left big toe. And as if your left big toe was super interesting, keep your eyes rest on that. You can soften the muscles around the eyes. We'll be here for a couple of more breaths. Take one last inhalation. One last exhalation. Inhale, lift the upper body. And from here, we'll take an open twist. So reach your right arm up. And then take your right arm inside of your right knee and turn towards your left side. Lift and lengthen through the spine. And think of rotating mostly from your upper back and your middle back. Your lower back is not really twisting that much at all. But mostly you feel it around the area of your rib cage. Take one last inhale into this open twist. Exhale, come back to center. Okay, straighten your right leg and switch. I'll stay turned this way just so it's easier for you to see. Bend your left knee, step your left foot over to the right, and then wiggle it out. Okay, the left knee on top of the right. We lift and lengthen first. And then depending on our possibilities, maybe we hinge forwards a little bit. Maybe we hinge forwards more if you have space in your body. A slight tuck of the chin towards the throat and the eyes resting to the right big toe. You can let your neck and shoulders soften a bit. Your face can relax. Once you've been in the pose for a few breaths, it's likely that your body is giving you more space to fold forwards, so you could try that and see. Final inhale. Final exhale. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Keep the legs as they are. Left arm up. Stretch up, lengthen up. And then turn to your right. So the left arm goes inside of the left knee. We lift, lengthen through the breastbone, the top of the skull, and then we turn a little bit. And we could look even further back towards the right shoulder, if that works for your neck, but you don't need to. For me, it kind of feels good to look in line with the chest. Breathing here, one more long inhale. A complete exhale. And then all the way back to center. Once you're back at the center, uncross the legs. Okay, and then from here, we're going to bend the knees and swing both knees to your right. Both feet to your right. Your knees stay pointing forwards. Okay, and then from this position, we're going to side bend. So bring your right hand down. It can be on the feet or it can be on the floor next to the feet. The opposite arm up and overhead. Good. Keep grounding down through your left hip. So keep it well grounded so that you get that opening into the side of the waist, ribs, armpit. Side bending is just a little bit underrated, but it's so helpful for the health of your back. And it's actually so good for your breathing as well, because you stretch the tiny muscles in the sides of your ribs, and those tiny muscles help the breathing process if they're not too tight. But if we never give them space, they could be a little bit too tight, and then they don't do what they're supposed to. Then lift yourself back up. Swing the legs to the other side. Okay, left hand down, right arm up. And as you come into your second side, notice, does it feel the same? Does it feel tighter, looser? There is no right answer. It's just whatever feels. You're noticing the sensations as you move. Okay, one last inhale. One last exhale. Lift yourself all the way back to center and bring your feet forwards, the soles of the feet together, and scooch back a little bit so that you have plenty of space between your heels and your pelvis. Okay, we're going to take a few circles here first, so you can have your hands resting on your knees or your shins, and we'll take a few circles here just to release through the hips and the spine before we end the practice. You can make those circles nice and fluid. And then switch direction. About 5 more on this other direction. Final one, and then settle back to center. And as you settle back to center, bring your hands down towards your ankles or even towards your feet. And we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale and fold towards the feet. Now, depending on your hip flexibility, you might fold all of the way with your head down to your feet. You might have your head hanging miles away from your feet, and that's fine too. Wherever you are, let the body be there and not try to change the position. You're not trying to force it. You're in fact letting go and allowing gravity to gently press on your back. There is no effort on your side. You just let gravity do the work for you.
We're here for one last inhale and exhale. And then gently lift yourself up.
And once you're all the way up, choose a seated position that feels comfortable for you. We're going to close with a couple of minutes of meditation. If you prefer to lie on your back and do Shavasana instead, that's fine. One hand to your chest, one hand to the belly. Let the eyes drop close. Start by noticing the position of your spine if you're seated upright. And notice if there is anything you need to change so that you are sitting nice and tall. And then feel the shoulders drop. They soften down away from the ears. The sides of the neck relax. The face becomes softer. And then bring your attention to the breath. And let the inhales and exhales be your point of focus. As we stay for just a little longer, check in with your posture again. Sometimes as we stay, our posture changes, and it's only when we check back in that we realize that. And before we end the practice, take a moment to notice, how does it feel to sit in silence? Resting the hands on the body, just feeling your heart, your breath. On your next exhale, gently let the eyes open, bring the hands together in prayer. On the inhale, we lift the prayer up to the sky. And on the exhale, we offer it down to the earth. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and if you did, please hit like, subscribe, and maybe share this video with other people. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.